Let us see some of the NCERT numericals of chapter motion in a plane. So this is the first. On an open ground, a motorist follows a track that turns to his left by an angle of 60 degree after every 500 meter. So as in the motorist, suppose it starts from here. This is initial point. Then after covering every 500 meter, he is turning to his left by 60 degrees. So he was traveling like this, make an angle of 60 degree. He is taking a turn like this. Now then he again travels for 500 meter and again he makes an angle of 60 degree and he takes like this turn. So every time he is turning to left by 60 degree. So you know 60 into 6 is 360 degree. So maximum he can take 6 turns and then he'll be 360 degree round. It means he will back to its initial position. For example, you can see here P is the initial position. So he walks for 500 meter, then again 60 degree, then 500 meter, then again 60 degree to left. Similarly, 60 degree, then 60 degree and then 60 degree. So he's back to his initial position. So we have to find out the displacement of the motorist in third, sixth and eighth turn. So let us see this once again. He starts from here. He walks for 500 meter. Then he takes a 60 degree turn. Together it will be in hexagon that we know. 6 sides. Regular hexagon you all can make. So it is like this. His track is like this. So this is initial position. This is first turn. Then second turn. Third turn. We have to tell distance and displacement for, you can see here, third, sixth and eighth turn. So we are doing it for sixth first. Case number 2 for 6 turns. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4th turn is this, 5th is this, 6th is this only. 6 is equal to initial position. So for 6 turn, distance, total distance is sum of all individual lengths. So 500 plus 500 plus 500 plus 500, 6 times. So it is, distance is 3000 meters. For 6 turns, distance is this. And what about the displacement? Because he is back to its initial position, so displacement is 0. So one part is sorted. Let us talk about the next part, which is for 8th turn. For 8th turn, we have to tell the both things, distance as well as displacement. So you can see how much is the distance for 8th turn, 500 into 8. So it is 4000 meter. That is 4 kilometer. And what about displacement? For displacement, you have to look at the diagram once again. We can make a regular hexagon. Okay, this is initial position, first turn, second turn, third turn, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. So, what is his initial position? This. And where is he now for 8th turn? Here. Okay, so distance we have already told is this. And for displacement, initial position is this and final position is this. The distance, shorter distance between initial and final position, this is displacement. So we have to find out this. Now we can label it as A, B, C. So AC we have to find out. Okay, and AC, this was A, B, this is B, this is BC, and this is AC. So AC is vector sum of AB and BC vector. So we will make use of triangles law. In that, resultant square is equal to first vector square, that is AB square, plus second vector square, plus 2 into first vector into second vector into cos of theta. So we can find out resultant like this. So resultant is equal to, that is displacement, which is AC. Now it is 500 plus 500 square plus 2 into 500 into 500, AB and BC both are 500, and cos of theta. So what is the angle between them? So you can say this is 60 degree. So angle is 60 degree cos of 60, and cos 60 is 1 by 2. So we'll substitute here 1 by 2. So r square equals, it is 500 square plus 500 square plus 2 into 500 into 500 is 500 square. Cos 60 is half, half and 2 cancelled. So it is basically r square is equal to 500, 500 and 500. So it is 500 square into 3. Okay, so r is equal to root of 500 root 3. So this is your resultant and this is your AC. AC is this. That is a displacement. So displacement is 500 root 3 meters for 8th turn. But now we have to do it for third turn also. So let us see for third turn. So we can make the hexagon once again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So this is your initial position, first turn, second turn, third turn. For third turn, you can see the distance 500 plus 500 plus 500. So distance is simple and distance is already sorted. Distance is 500 into 3, that is 1500 meters. But what about the displacement? For displacement, this is initial and this is final position. So we will join it. Now see, it can be found by so many ways. I am just discussing one way. We will drop a perpendicular here and we'll drop a perpendicular here. Find this N and M. Let it be A, B, and this is C and this is B. Okay, so BN and CM are altitudes. They are perpendiculars. Okay, so we should find out. Now see, BC will be equal to NM. BC will be equal to NM and BC is equal to 500. Each side of the hexagon is of 500 meter because the biker is traveling for 500 and then he is taking a left turn every time. Then 500 and then left turn by 60 degree. Okay, so this is 60 degree, 500 meters. So this is 500 meters. Now we should find out AN and MD. We have to find out this length and this length so that we can add up all three. So we can see in the diagram. See, let us make one more diagram. Yeah, this is initial position, this is third turn. So we have to find out this. We have dropped perpendiculars. Okay, this is 500, middle one. Now we should find out this A, N and M, B, C, D. AN and DM we have to find out. So because this is perpendicular and this angle, either we should know this angle or we should know this angle. So one of the angles should be known to us. Yeah, so see, this used to be 60 degree. Okay, he was taking 60 degree turn. So this is 60. So the remaining angle is of 120, right? Out of 120, this is 90. This is 60 degree turn that the biker is taking. So remaining is 120. Out of 120, this one is 90. This green one is 90. So this angle is 30 degree. This angle is 30 degree. Now 30 degree and this is 500. See, in this triangle I am saying this angle is 30 degree and this side is 500. Each side of the hexagon is 500 meter. So this is base This is 30. So we have to find out this perpendicular AN. So AN up, 500 down, that is base down. Perpendicular up. Sorry, this is not base, this is hypotenuse. Yeah, this is hypotenuse. This is opposite to 90 degrees, so this is hypotenuse. Perpendicular upon hypotenuse is sine of 30. So AN is equal to 500 sine of 30. So AN is 500 into sine of 30. Similarly, this MD, this will be also 500 into sine of 30. Same way we can do. See, this is 60 degree turn. So remaining angle is 120 degree. Out of 120, this one is 90. So this is 30. Same way. So you can directly write that DM will also be equal to 500 into sine of 30. So we were supposed to find out A to D. This was the displacement for third turn. AD we were supposed to find out. AD is divided into three parts. DM plus MN, which is 500, plus NA or AN. Now AN I have sine 30, I can substitute as 1 by 2. Sine 30 is 1 by 2. Yeah. So we can add these two, and Mn is already 500. This is 500. So you can find out the displacement like this by adding all these three. Let us see the next numerical. Let us see this. Rain is falling vertically with a speed of 30 meter per second. So this is velocity of rain, speed of rain. And it is falling vertically down. So we can show here. This is vertically down. This is not south. This is vertically down. So this is my velocity of rain. Up to here is speed of rain. Now, a woman rides a bicycle with a speed of 10 meter per second. So, velocity of women's bicycle is 10 meter per second in the north to south direction. So, let it be north and this is be south. So, women is riding north to south, and that is why I have told you that this is vertically down. This is not south. This is down. Down is towards the floor. Toward the floor is not south. So, north is this and south is this, and this is velocity of women. Okay, and how much is the value? Value is 10 meter per second. Now, what is the direction in which she should hold the umbrella? So, she should hold the umbrella along the direction of relative velocity. Relative velocity of rain with respect to women. So, you can write like this. She should hold the umbrella in the direction of relative velocity of rain with respect to women. Okay. So, this can be written as, we know the formula of relative velocity. Relative velocity is written as velocity of rain minus velocity of women. Okay. But we would be writing as velocity of rain plus negative of velocity of women. Subtraction is written like this. It is addition of this. Okay. This negative will go inside. So, we have to find out this. Now, you can see this is vector A and this is vector minus B. So, we will do in the same diagram. Look here. This velocity of rain is rain. This is okay. Now, we have to take invert of this. Minus VW this side. And now, velocity of women is this side. So, it is minus of velocity of women. So, again we can see this is your coordinate system. Rain was falling vertically downward. This is velocity of rain, and women was going from north to south. This is velocity of women. But here it is coming minus VW. So we will have to take minus VW this side. Direction we need to reverse. Now we will complete the parallelogram, and resultant will come along the diagonal. So resultant will come along the diagonal. So she should hold the umbrella along this. Answer is where she should hold the umbrella. She should hold the umbrella along the resultant direction like this. So, how to tell that she should hold the umbrella along this? So, we will locate here. Let it be beta. This is also beta. Now, tangent beta will be perpendicular, which is this VW. by base, which is V rain. VW, matlab minus VW, okay, negative sign will not be taken into account. Negative is for just reversing the arrow. So tangent beta, in this diagram we can say, in this diagram we can tell tangent beta is equal to perpendicular by base, and you can see perpendicular is this, which is equal to this line, that is velocity of women, upon base is this line, that is velocity of rain. Velocity of women is 10 meter per second, we have written here, and rain is 30. So my tangent beta would be equal to 10 by 30, that is 1 by 3. So tangent beta is equal to 1 by 3. So beta is equal to tangent inverse 1 by 3. So she should hold the umbrella along this. So you can say she should hold umbrella with this much angle, with beta equals this. Now you have to tell this angle is with which axis? With which axis? With dash axis. So you can see this is the axis, this. So it is basically with the vertical direction, you can say. Okay, suppose it is asked what is the relative velocity of rain with respect to women. And right now I have told you the direction. Suppose it is asked what is the relative velocity of rain with respect to women. So we have already written it as velocity of rain minus velocity of women. And what was the next step? Velocity of rain plus negative of velocity of women. Okay. So this is addition of two vectors, and whenever there is addition of two vectors, we can write out the resultant by parallelogram's result. First vector square plus second vector square. Okay, then we have 2 into A into B into cos of theta. Negative is just to reverse the arrow that we have reversed already. So it is 30 square plus 10 square plus 2 into 30 into 10, and cos, you know, the angle will be in this, and this is already 90. So cos of 90 is 0. Okay, so this is your resultant velocity, that is relative velocity of rain with respect to women. So now you can sort it out. This is 900, this is 100, and cos 90 is 0, this is 0, this is 1000. So you can find out it is 10 root 10 meter per second. This is relative velocity of rain with respect to women. Let us see the next question. A man can swim with a speed of 4 km per hour. So this is speed of man, 4 km per hour in still water. How long does it take to cross a river 1 km wide? So width of the river is, this width is 1 km. Okay, and this is river speed. The speed on the river is given as 3 km per hour. And he makes his strokes normal to the river current. How far down the river does he go when he reaches the other bank? So first question is, how long does it take to cross the river? So distance is given as 1 km, and man's speed is already 4 km per hour. So we can find out the time taken by him to cross the river, which is one of the questions that they have asked. Time to cross the river, distance by speed. So distance is 1 km and speed is 4 km per hour. So it is 1 by 4 hour time. So 1 by 4 hour means 1 by 4 into 60 minutes. That is 15 minutes it will take to cross the river. Now one more question is there, how far does he go when he reaches the other bank? So obviously the river is flowing like this, and now the river will displace him this side. So how much the river will displace him in 15 minutes? So time is 15 minutes and speed of the river you will use this time, which is 3 km per hour. 3 km per hour it is. So we'll convert 15 again back to hour. So this much he'll be displaced. He'll be displaced laterally by this distance. River is flowing this side, so river will displace him this side by its speed, and within the given time, which is 15 minutes, we'll convert 15 by 60, and now it is 45 by 60. So the distance coming as 15, 3 and 4, that is 0.75 kilometer. This will be the lateral displacement. Let us see the next question. In a harbor, the wind is blowing at a speed of this, so we'll write speed of wind is given as 72 km per hour. Okay, and it is given as along northeast direction. So wind is along northeast, so this is your north and this is east. So wind is blowing along northeast direction. This is VW. If the boat is starts to move at 51 km per hour, this is velocity of boat, which is 51 km per hour, due north. So we will make this line. This vector is representing velocity of boat moving north. What is the direction of the flag on the mast of the boat now? Okay, earlier wind was blowing at 72 km per hour and flag was fluttering along northeast. Okay, earlier. So that is in the direction of wind. But now when the boat starts to move along north, where is the flag fluttering? So flag will flutter about the direction of relative velocity of wind with respect to boat. Flag will flutter in this direction. Relative velocity of wind with respect to boat. This will be written as VW minus V boat. Now how to write minus V boat? VW, velocity of wind as it is, plus minus velocity of boat. So that means we have to reverse the direction of velocity of boat. So we will take some other color, and this is velocity of direction of boat, right? So now we will make it inverted. Opposite to it, this is minus VB. So our two vectors are this velocity of wind and this is velocity of boat. Okay? So we would be completing the parallelogram. Complete the parallelogram, and this will be, the flag will be fluttering like along the resultant. You can complete the parallelogram properly. Okay, so flag will be fluttering along the resultant, so we have to find out the angle. If you can understand, you can make a proper parallelogram. This will be the direction of fluttering of flag along the resultant, along the diagonal. Here my diagram is a little bit wrong. So let us find out how to find out the direction. Direction is found by tangent of beta. We will use the result of parallelogram's law, whose formula is b sin theta by a plus b cos theta. Okay, and here we have velocity of wind and velocity of boat. Velocity of wind is 72 km per hour and this is 51 km per hour. So one of them we will imagine at A, one of them we will imagine as B. So let us substitute. A is my 51. Sorry, B is 51. So B is 51 sine of theta and it is 72 plus 51 sine of theta. Now see what is theta. Velocity of wind minus velocity of wind is this direction if you remember, and velocity of wind is in this direction, northeast. So this is 90 degree, this is 45. So the angle between these two is 135. If we have any confusion, we can go to the diagram and see. This is velocity of boat minus VB. Sorry, this was minus VB. This is minus VB, velocity of boat. Okay? And this is velocity of wind. So this angle is 45 northeast wala, this is 90. So angle between the two vectors is 135. So theta is, this is cos, theta is 135. Now sine 135 would be 1 by root 2 and cos of 135 would be minus 1 by root 2. So we will substitute here, substitute and you can find out the answer of tangent beta. So tangent beta will come as, when you will substitute, you will find it will come as something around, let it be 1.0037 actually. So that means beta is, this is 1, no, 1 is for 45, that is approximately 45 point something. Okay, beta is this much. So what is beta? Beta is the direction along which flag is fluttering. So if you remember the diagram, please, this is velocity of wind, this is velocity of minus boat. Okay, we have completed the parallelogram. This is the direction of flag fluttering now. But where is beta? So boat we imagined equal to B vector. This was A. Velocity of wind was A. If you wish to see wind I imagined as A. So this is my A, this is my B vector. So where is beta? Beta is between resultant and A. So this is beta. So this much degree with A. So you can write the flag will flutter with this much degree with vector A, that is velocity of wind. Fine. So you can see this was your northeast, this is velocity of wind, this was your coordinate system. So 45.01 will be here somewhere, very close. So approximately, in fact very close. Beta is coming 45.01, no? So this is 45. So it means resultant is here only somewhere. Flag is fluttering along this direction. This is beta. Beta is the angle between resultant and vector A. So getting to next. Let us see this question. The ceiling of a long hall is 25 meter. So this is height is 25 meter. Ceiling, roof. What is the maximum horizontal distance that a ball is thrown with a speed of 40 meter per second? So this is initial velocity of the ball. It can go without hitting the ceiling of the hall. So we are not supposed to hit the ceiling. So how far will it go? They are asking the horizontal distance, that is horizontal range they are asking, and they have given the maximum height. 25 meter is the maximum height. So this is a question based upon angular projection. So maximum height is given as 25 meter. Now you should memorize, you should recollect the formula of maximum height, which is u square sine square theta by 2g. So this is equal to 25. Fine. So we can substitute the value of u, which is given as, initial velocity is given as 40. So 40 into 40, that is 40 square upon 2g. So g you can take as 10 into sine square theta is equal to 25. So you can cut quantities. So it is coming, this implies sine square theta would be equal to, this is 40 into 2, 80, 80 will go that side, 25 by 80. So 5 by 16, 5 by 16, or you can say approximately it is 5 by 15. Let it be. So it will come something. So we are ready with the value of sine square theta, which is 5 by 16. Okay. So if we know sine square theta, we can find out cos square theta. Cos square theta is 1 minus sine square theta, you know it. So this is equal to 1 minus 5 by 16. So it will come as 16, 16 minus 5, 11 by 16. So cos square theta is 11 by 16. So we are ready with the value of cos square theta and sin square theta. Basically sine theta is root 5 by 4 and cos theta is root 11 and 416 का square root is 4. So we are ready with this. Now we have to find our range. Horizontal range formula you should know again from angular projection we have done u square sine 2 theta by g. Now u square's value you know it's 40 into 40. G we have taken 10. Sine theta can be written as 2 sine theta into cos of theta, and that is why we have found the values of sine theta and cos theta. So it is 160 ठीक है इंटू 2 साइन थीटा की वैल्यू कितनी थी √5/16 एंड cos थीटा की वैल्यू थी √11/16 नो सॉरी 4. You can check here if you have any confusion. Yeah, cos theta is this. So we have substituted, this is our horizontal range. You can multiply and report the result in the required units. Okay, so this is how it was done. In meters you can report it after multiplication and substituting the values of root if you wish. Let us see the next question. So let us see what is given in this question. A cricketer can throw a ball to a maximum horizontal distance of 100 meter. So this has been given as range. Horizontal range has been given as 100 meter. So if you take it, then it is maximum given, so we can take it maximum range. See, formula of range is u square sine 2 theta by g. Now for maximum range, for maximum value, sine 2 theta should be 1. Okay, maximum range trigonometric value should be 1. So 100 is equal to u square by g. So we have to find out how much high above the ground can the cricketer throw the same ball. So we have to find out maximum height. The maximum height value is your u square sine square theta by 2g. So for maximum height, sine square theta should be 1. Trigonometric value should be 1 for maximum height. Okay, so u square by 2g. Now the value of u square by g is 100. So 100 by 2 is 50. This is one solution. Maximum height formula we have used. Trigonometric value should be 1 for maximum thing. U square by 2g. U square by g we had as 100. To substitute 100 by 2 is 50 meters. How high the ball will go? This much high. Let us see this question. A stone tied to the end of a string. Stone is tied to the end of a string 80 centimeter long. So basically 80 centimeter is radius. Because stone will be moved in circular path. So radius has been given as 80 centimeter, that is equal to the length of the string. Is whirled in the horizontal circle with a constant speed if the stone makes 40 revolutions 25 seconds. So what is the frequency? Frequency will be equal to number of revolution up, number of revolution by time. This is frequency. So they are saying 14 revolution in 25 seconds. So this is your frequency. What is the direction and magnitude of acceleration? So we know the formula of centripetal acceleration. We'll have to tell about centripetal acceleration. So centripetal acceleration formula is simple. It's v square by r. Now, see, if you remember, v is equal to r omega. Omega is angular velocity. Let us substitute. So my centripetal acceleration is, substitute this in place of v. R down as it is, r omega square. So centripetal acceleration will be r square omega square by r. R and r is cancelled. It is r omega square. So we have radius. Radius is at 80. So centripetal acceleration will be 80. But we don't know what is omega. Then omega is your See, omega is angle upon time. Like velocity is this linear velocity is distance upon time. Similarly, angular velocity is angle by time. Okay. Now, angle in one revolution is 2 pi 360 degree, that is. Angle in one full revolution is 2 pi 360 degree, and time taken is time period. The time taken to complete one revolution is called time period. As time period I have written here. Okay, so my centripetal acceleration will be 80, and reciprocal of time is frequency, that is 2 pi nu. So we can substitute the value of 80 as it is. 2 pi is 22 by 7, and frequency they have already told as 14 by 25. So centripetal acceleration would come. It will be measured as like 80 centimeter. We have substituted centimeter per second square. Otherwise, you can convert into meter per second by dividing 80 by 100. And what about the direction? Direction of centripetal acceleration is along the radius toward the center of the circle. Along the radius toward the center of the circle. So what we have to memorize, that V is equal to R omega. This I have used. This is the relation between linear velocity and angular velocity. And angular velocity is opened as theta by time. And theta in one revolution is 2 pi. In one full revolution, the theta, for example, this is 30 degree, but if it is full revolution, it is 2 pi 360, and the time taken is time period. Now this can be written as 2 pi into 1 by t, and 1 by t is frequency. Okay, and what was the formula of frequency? Number of revolution will come first. Number of revolution will come first, and upon time. Let us see the next question now. An aircraft executes a horizontal loop of radius 1 kilometer. So aircraft is executing horizontal path. Radius has been given as 1 kilometer and speed has been given as 900 kilometer per hour. Compare its centripetal acceleration with acceleration due to gravity. So acceleration due to gravity, at least we know, is it's 9.8 meter per second square, and radius can be converted into meters. Okay, now you can find out centripetal acceleration, whose formula is simple. It's v square by r. It is kilometer per hour, so you can convert into meter per second, like 5 by 18 से multiply किया, and so you can convert this into meter per second. We have converted. Now simply substitute here v value, ठीक है, and r's value. So centripetal acceleration will be ready in meter per second square. Centripetal acceleration is ready, and acceleration due to gravity we know. Just divide. Compare means you can just divide and tell the ratio. Okay, the ratio of centripetal acceleration to acceleration due to gravity is this. Okay, so getting to the next question. Let us see the next question. The position of a particle is represented by this equation. This equation has been given. We have to find out the velocity and acceleration of the particle. So it's very simple. You pick up the equation. The position is given as 3t I cap minus 2t square j cap plus 4k cap. So velocity, you know, velocity is rate of change of position vector rather. Let us do differentiation of this d by dt of what is given, 3t I cap minus 2t square j cap plus 4k cap. So velocity vector will be equal to, see how do we do differentiation? 3 as it is, power comes forward, so 1 will come forward, 1 power will be reduced, so 3 to the power 1 minus 1 will be 0. I cap as it is, the minus 2 as it is, then the power which is 2 will come forward, 1 power will be reduced, and j cap as it is, here we have no power of t, so it will be 0. Its differentiation will be 0. So this velocity vector can be written as 3, t to the power 0 means 1, so 1 is not written, 2 into 2 is 4, 2 minus 1 is 1, t to the power it was 0, so I have not written any t here, but it's t to the power 1, so that will be written into j cap. So this is my velocity vector. Okay, so its magnitude is given like this: 3 square plus minus 4. Okay, anyways, we need velocity at some particular time, I guess. We have to tell velocity at 2 seconds. So velocity at 2 seconds. So find out velocity vectors. It is 3 I cap minus 4 2 j cap. That is 3 I cap minus 8 j cap. So velocity's magnitude would be found by taking square root of this. So it is equal to your root 73. So this is how velocity's magnitude is told, and velocity's direction will be told by tangent beta. Perpendicular component will be first and base component will be down. This is j cap component is perpendicular component and x I cap component is base component. So you can tell the direction like this. Sorry, it's 8. It's not 4, it's 8. It's minus 8. So it's minus 8. So this is beta is for direction of velocity and this is magnitude of velocity. So one more part is there in which we have to tell the acceleration. We have to find out the acceleration also. So children, when see what was given to us was position. When I differentiated position, I got velocity. I got velocity as this. So I'll write it again. Velocity vector is 3 I cap minus 4 t j cap. Now in order to find out acceleration, I will be differentiating it once more. D by dt of velocity. Velocity's differentiation is acceleration. So we'll substitute d by dt of 3 I cap minus 4 t j cap. So 3 will come forward, but there is no power of t. So its differentiation will be 0. Now here it's minus 4. Power of t will come forward. One power will be reduced and j cap as it is. So it's 0 is nothing. Minus 4 t to the power 0 is 1. So this is the acceleration. That's all. This is acceleration and velocity we have already told. So prepare these numericals. Rest of the numericals will be in next video.